What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. The playstyle of building damage on a support is starting to gain a little bit of popularity, and I used to think playing support like this was pretty bad, but with the new AP item changes, it's definitely not overpowered, but it is kind of good, and I do think it is a little bit underrated, and it's definitely a super fun way to play support. Let's get started. So the main reason that this playstyle of building a Sightstone and then transitioning into a damage build of AP items is starting to gain a lot of popularity is due to the new AP items that came out in patch 5.13. With the addition of items like the new Rylai's and Liandry's and others, supports can get some meaningful utility from just a single AP item. As well, the cheaper parts to build make it much easier to pick up, say, a needlessly large rod after a back, so you can get some power a lot earlier and start snowballing a lot faster, especially since you don't often back with too much gold, since you're a support, even if you win a fight. So the change to make the parts of major items cheaper was actually a pretty big buff to this support playstyle. And what the playstyle is fairly simple. You play a utility, high damage mage, and after picking up a Sightstone, it's very important, you must pick up a Sightstone, build what is essentially a standard AP build if you were to play that champion in the mid lane. Things like Cassiopeia, Brand, and Vel'Koz support are among my favorites to build in this way, but you also have loads of other options too. It's important to play a mage, since they tend to at least have a reasonable amount of utility and crowd control, as well as being able to make a lot out of just 1 or 2 damage items, due to the utility that is contained with most AP items, unlike an attack damage focused build. And this playstyle has a lot of pros and cons, but it's important to remember while you play it that you are still a support, and that your role in the game is still that of a support. You still need to control vision, you still need to kite, and always put your carries first. You just get some extra bonuses in the damage department at the trade-off of giving up some utility and kiting power. And remember that since you are still the support of the team, you need to have some kiting potential, meaning that it's crucial for you to play a mage that has some form of crowd control within their kit. So sorry guys, but Nidalee support probably isn't going to cut it. And so this playstyle is something that has the potential to be extremely successful in solo queue, since it has quite a few things going for it. It's very powerful in lane due to the high base scaling of AP champions, especially at level 6, and so you can come out of lane with quite a few kills. And it also snowballs extremely hard since you're building damage, so any gold that you get from a lead will give you an awesome boost in power, and if you pick up a few kills you can become a secondary AP carry for your team and become a very real damage threat. Due to the burst damage nature, your pick potential is through the roof, which also helps a lot when it comes to roaming mid. And overall, players will not expect the amount of damage you can put out, so you can catch people off guard, and it's great because it gives you as the support player the ability to make plays by yourself, which you otherwise might not be able to do due to lacking damage in your kit. And not to mention, building damage from the support role can be a super fun way to play the game, since the extra damage can bring some added excitement, and it's great to try out if you are the kind of person who thinks that support is fairly boring. And on the other hand, this playstyle is quite poor for competitive play, and does tend to have a few exploitable weaknesses. The main reason being that it can be tough to perform the role of a traditional support that your team might want you to. Your kiting ability won't be as good as a normal support champion, and your damage focused build might lack some key utility items that your team might desperately need to counterplay your opponents, such as a Locket, a Righteous Glory, or a Mikhail's Crucible. As well, you'll be super squishy, which makes it easier to punish mistakes that you will make, and makes your initiations quite poor, and so overall the playstyle has a hard time fitting legitimate team compositions, and can be a little bit lackluster when behind. As well, when it comes to competitive play, the lane dominance isn't as impactful, since your opponents are very likely going to 2v1 you. However, a lot of these things, apart from the lack of utility items, won't be that relevant at all in solo queue, since they require some solid team play to make use of. As long as you control vision, performing the role of a support in solo queue isn't as needed, since your team likely won't take advantage of the strengths that a support playstyle often brings. And kiting will be easier than it would be at the competitive level, since dives onto your carries are going to be a lot less coordinated, and quite often the extra damage to kill the target faster might help more than some extra crowd control due to the uncoordinated nature of the dive that the opponents attempt on you. If you're enjoying the analysis, just a reminder to help me out by tapping that like button. Also, it's worth noting that this playstyle of support has a somewhat different nature when it comes to matchups. Whereas a normal support might do a great job versus assassins, this playstyle of support tends to get fairly wrecked by them since they can outplay your damage quite easily and kill you really fast. But since assassins aren't that popular in the meta right now, it's not too bad. But it also does a pretty good job versus tanks too, since you can help kill them a lot faster. And when it comes to solo queue and just lower skilled play in general, this playstyle can lead to a lot of interesting and often powerful team comps, as well as some interesting synergies with specific champions and lane dominant AD carries. Things like Cassiopeia, Twitch, bottom lane really come to mind, and those kinds of strategies are great and super fun since the power is really unexpected and will allow you to really surprise your opponents and pick up a lot of kills that you wouldn't otherwise get. So what do you think about this playstyle? I personally find it to be just okay. It's nothing too crazy, but it's definitely super fun, and I do see it as a little bit underrated. And that just about wraps it up. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to tap that like button to help me out, as well as you could subscribe for some more awesome content in the future. And definitely check out some of my other videos on the screen too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.